Hi, good morning. It's John from the Landlord Protection Agency. 5 reasons credit reports don't work. Is that the craziest thing I've ever said? Well, it's an article that I had on the website, and I'll explain, okay? Welcome to Free Forms Friday, and I have a free form for you guys. I'll tell you all about it after I talk about why credit reports don't work. Now that sounds really crazy, doesn't it? Well, I've got 5 reasons why they don't work. All right, now I'm not saying they're not useful, but sometimes they just don't work. Okay, this is John Nuzzolese from the Landlord Protection Agency, and I've been doing real estate since 1979, and most of you guys who know me from the Landlord Protection Agency website that helps landlords for the last 17, going on 17 years. The Landlord Protection Agency has been helping landlords across the U.S. and Canada and all English-speaking countries. And I'm a landlord myself, real estate broker and property manager and real estate investor. So I've been doing it a long time, and I think a lot of you guys also are in the real estate business too. And those of you guys who are brokers who do rentals, or property managers and private landlords who have properties to manage yourself, know that you need credit reports. Back in the 1980s, most landlords I know didn't do credit reports. It was really something else. And my office, Rentals Only Realty, started doing them. I started finding the need for credit reports because of a lot of bad experiences, and I started advertising free credit report for other landlords. So this way, when I would market their rental property for them, I would offer a free credit report. And credit reports were kind of a new thing for private landlords back in the 1980s. So my ad would always say, to attract new landlords, I would attract them with, get a free credit report when you rent your rental through Rentals Only. That's what I was doing then, and I was getting a lot of landlords coming over to Rentals Only to let me list their rental units. So as a landlord myself, I understood what they needed and how to screen their tenants. But this is an article called 5 Reasons Credit Reports Don't Work. But it's true. There are some reasons credit reports don't work. And what are the 5 reasons credit reports don't work? One of the reasons is a lot of people I know get credit reports, and they pay for the credit report, they read it, and they find all kinds of negative stuff on it, and they still rent to the people anyway. Now, you know, you need to take the information and use it. The credit report is a track record of the tenant's performance, how they pay their bills and everything like that. It's very important. Now, I have a few points that I want to share with you about it. And you know, sometimes you'll do a credit report on someone and it'll give you negative information, and you meet the people and they might ask questions like, well, is it okay if I plant some flowers in the front yard? I really like to make everything look nice. Well, sometimes that stuff works, but I found overall it's BS most of the time when they offer to do that. They may have good intentions going in, but soon after you've rented to them, you find out that's not really the case. But anyway, back to credit reports and why they don't work. Well, you have to understand their credit history and really believe that that is what's going to be the ultimate factor in deciding whether you should rent to the people, and not whether they're going to plant flowers or do a good job mowing the lawn and all that stuff. Don't be thrown off. So when you see that credit history, take it seriously. The second thing is relying on the credit score. Now, in many cases, a credit score may be over 700 for a rental applicant. Sometimes that happens, and you see a great 750 or even higher credit score, and they may only have 1 or 2 accounts, 1 or 2 excellent accounts that they hardly ever owe money on. And it might be a Macy's card or a Home Depot card or something that they don't use that much, but they always pay off, and they get a beautiful credit score. And some people look at the credit score as the determining factor In that case, the credit report did not work because the landlord is looking at it as at the credit score instead of the whole report. So it's very important to know how to read a credit report and not just go by the score. So that's don't rely solely on the credit score. Another factor is forgetting that the credit report is only one of the deciding factors. What about people who have a great credit score and a great track record and a great credit report, and they're about to lose their job? Or maybe they've just maxed everything out and their credit scores haven't changed. Sometimes that happens. You may have somebody wanting to rent because certain things in their life are not working out, and they might be on the brink of a financial disaster. And I know so many landlords, including myself, who have had tenants that went bankrupt. And then, after they've owed a number of months' rent, they also include the landlord in on the bankruptcy, so that you have to evict them. And however long that takes, and sometimes it's hard, it's a little difficult to evict them when they're in the bankruptcy proceeding, and it gets a little involved, but there are ways of doing it, dealing with the trustee. But you don't want to rely solely on the credit report. It's very important to verify all the information on the rental application, verify bank accounts, verify tax records. You need to do these things to really qualify a tenant. It's very important because it's not just the credit report. You want to make sure they have the money and the income, and that it's going to be reliable. How long are they going to be at that job? So that's another reason why the credit report doesn't tell all, you know. Now, another reason a credit report didn't work, and this happened to me, and oh boy, this was something else. The credit report did not work because it wasn't the credit report for the person sitting in front of me. These people fooled me. They came from California, a husband and wife. It looked like a husband and wife. Turns out the wife really left her husband in California and came to New York with this guy who was claiming to be her husband, and the credit report was awesome. Well, turns out he was a really bad criminal, and I didn't check his ID. So one of the things to do when you get a credit report and you get a rental application from someone is verify their picture ID. Make sure the person on the ID is the same person on the rental application. And check for a social security card too. You really want to make sure that it's a legitimate credit report, because what good is it if it's not the right person, right? Even if it's a good credit report. So you want to make sure that people match with the credit report and the ID. And the social security card and the tax records and the bank statements. You want to do a thorough job. It's not just the credit report. And a lot of landlords don't understand how to read a credit report and what everything means. That's the fifth reason credit reports don't work, when they don't understand how to read it. I've had landlords tell me that if the tenant allows me to do a credit report, whether it comes up good or bad, I'm taking them, because they were honest enough to tell me it's okay to look at their credit. Does that make sense to you? When you see a terrible a terrible track record, a crappy track record, if you see that, you know that's how they're going to pay their bills, and that's how they're going to handle their rent. So the credit report doesn't always work if you don't read it responsibly and determine the different information in the credit report and how it's going to affect you. Okay, they only work if you use them properly, just like any other tool. Hey, Tom, that's right. That's absolutely right. Many landlords overlook the available credit and the existing debt ratio, and that may be a telltale sign of potential problems. Absolutely right. Thank you, Tom, for sharing that. That's true. So as far as credit reports not working, they do work if you know how to use them, okay? I'm excited about our next landlord newsletter that's coming out on Tuesday, And we're going to be giving away another good free form. But today I want to tell you about a free tenant screening form that I'm going to post onto this Facebook Live stream onto Facebook. I'm going to put the link so that you can go to the page to download a free tenant screening form. And it's the tenant screening chart. It's a qualification chart on how you can score your tenant applicants. And a lot of people use it and really like it. And sometimes it helps put things in perspective. But the main idea is to take the emotion out of the decision. Look at the hard facts of the tenant that you're screening and get all the information so that you have the facts in front of you so that you can make an informed decision. That's the way to do it. Don't go by the gut. So many of us have made gut decisions, and in the landlord-tenant world, you can't always go by the gut. You have to go by the facts, the tenant's track record, and all the information available to you to make a good decision. So thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you found any value, let me know. Let me know if you guys have questions about reading a credit report. And one very more important thing, I'm going to list the link how to read a credit report from our company, Quick Check Credit Reports. How to read a credit report. I'm going to post that so you guys can go to that article with instructions of how to read a credit report. Okay, so that's it. 5 reasons credit reports don't work, and I hope you enjoyed this. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks. Take care.